But I don't know, like if there was one to really impart with the community right now, I think if anything, it's to really treasure the relationships that you are able to have right here, right now. Because this moment in time during your life, this is the easiest it'll be to see the folks that you really care about, that you really have a lot of love for. Because and I've been hearing this a lot and I've seen it and I've experienced it ever since graduating too. It's that like once you leave the space, it's hard to find that sense of community again. You have to create it yourself. You have to find that like place. You have to create that structure because when you go out there in the larger world, there's not going to be like a larger alumni association of all of us. Like, if anything, like it might feel lonely after that time. And so to me, like what I really think about, it's like if you care about the folks that are in your life right now, you actively have to like fight for these relationships, like as you go through these different changes in your life, through these different periods of your life. When last year, when the murder of George Floyd happened, um, I kept thinking about our alumni. I kept thinking about a lot of the student leaders that I had the chance to work with as an advisor, and I kept thinking like I can only imagine like I knew like how I was trying to process everything and what it meant to be an ally and what am I going to be doing differently and moving forward and be more active in that and if anything being more of a like a co-conspirator in it. And I kept thinking like, man, like I can only wonder with a lot of the recent folks that graduate, like if they're struggling and like how to process it or just wanting to have that space to like talk about it, but not knowing where to go. And to me, like I took that initiative to really create this like this empower our alumni group of just like, we'll just dedicate this 1 hour for us to share space to hear each other out, to really think through these things. And I remember the very first one that we had, folks were very appreciative of being able to reconnect again, that they thought that this wasn't possible, but it is. And although right now we're taking a break right now from it, I just realized like deep down folks are missing it. And it just takes just one person to just bring everyone together again, whether if it's just for a social thing, whether it's for like, how can we like navigate the challenges that we're facing in the larger world and our society? It just takes one person to bring everyone back together, to have that sense of community again, to renew relationships or to pick up relationships where they left off. But I don't know, like right now, like don't take it for granted with the relationships that you have right now. And as you transition on through life, it takes a more active commitment to like maintain it. Or even knowing that like if there's more time apart, that for some relationships it's gonna be okay. That there's some of my friends from FSA where I can go months on end not talking to them, and then a random text message here and there, and we pick up right where we left off. Like I struggled with that throughout my 20s of I'm in community with these folks back in college, but now throughout my 20s, it's like I'm kind of lost. Um, but being able to know that, you know, if we take the time, if we reach out and we connect, the time that folks do offer, that's all that they can. And we got to make the most of it.
Also, just say hi to people. Like, I know, like, a small hello it might not seem like much, but I've met people who have shared that, like, just because this person said hi to me, like, I was nobody. I was just there, like, this one time, and someone came up to me and said hi, and, like, that made me wanna stay, that made me feel like I belong, and, yeah, saying hi just, like, opens up, that doorway to, like, more conversation, and, like, the last rules of all community agreements, have fun. Enjoy your time there and, like, the convenience of having your friends so nearby. Because after it's really hard to like even see each other or like even contact each other because you're so busy trying to get your life together. So relish in those moments.
like looking back on UC Santa Cruz and like my experiences, and I would say Bayanihan is very fond. I think we talked about it, and it's like you don't get that once you leave the space.
Mhm.
And it's interesting. It took a while for me, or just a moment, or like when I after graduating and moving back home, I thought like, oh, what is like missing? I kind of feel like there's something I'm looking for, but I kind of just realized I wouldn't find that kind of space for a community anymore. So I really like I did cherish it while I was there, but it was hard to sometimes because there are so many other things that happen as a student and then in the organization. But looking back on it, like just a lot of fond, warm memories. Yeah, I don't remember the bad stuff as much. It's
Yeah.
just
Oh, that's completely wiped from my memory.
I kind of remember the I wouldn't say like bad stuff, but like inconveniences kind of fondly, because like one thing that I learned sort of moving into the college space, like away from family, away from like high school friends, and like people who've like known you your whole life. Like in college, you get this kind of sense of like shared suffering, I guess. And like there's a lack of boundaries that that like prevent you from being able to, you know, hide like your I guess like more private or like more shameful sides. Like you're just open to other people, and like you're more yourself around like your college community. Because like even when you go back home, you're going to like be putting up those boundaries up to, you know, like your parents or your old friends, you know. And like with college friends, you don't have that. So there's that there's something like tribal like about being in college that I miss.
in relation to that, I remember feeling like, oh, I'm just a student, and like kind of putting myself down and like, oh, like I'm just me. But how do I say this? But like you're worth so much more. I was like if I could talk to myself back then, I wish I could just like be more courageous. I think like when I joined core second year, I was just very timid, and I kind of felt like I'm just a second year, like I don't know anything. But you and your feelings are very valuable to the community, and you shouldn't be afraid to share it or like speak what's on your mind. And if there's just one person in the community you feel comfortable, like reach out to them, maybe like they can help you. And then the other thing is also, you don't have to be in core to, how do I say it? You don't have to be a core member to impact the community. It's really just because when I became like an organizer and I had these events, I can remember the few like people who, even if they didn't show up all the time, but they showed up to a single event, like it means a lot to have them around. And so I just want all the future of Bayanihan members to realize that your presence like really makes an impact on someone.
Yeah.
Whether you know it or not. It's amazing. It's that feeling.
Yeah, also like don't take things too seriously, because I really wish I like didn't stress myself out so much like unnecessarily, especially like being on core. You know, we're students at the end of the day, so you know, like just take things one step at a time, and like know that you always have a big support system. And I mean, Bayanihan means community, so take advantage. And just like looking back now, um, I wish I, you know, really cherished things more, because like now that we're graduated, like we've like been talking about, like we don't have that same community. And so like I wish I didn't stress out so much and just like had fun and just you know, spend time with everyone instead of like worrying about deadlines and all that. I mean, of course, deadlines are important, but like not having those like at the forefront of your mind at all times. So yeah, because like, you know, things always work out in the end.
Yeah. I just want to say, like, working with Greg and Claudia, and even with my previous co's, it was Jarrell the year before that, and then Rap and Aiko for my second year. It always helped me to, if things were stressful, kind of just take a step back and like realize that you're both just people, and like support each other, respect each other, and like, because we're a community.
I thought you were gonna break into we're all in this together.
I know.
Which would be appropriate, I
Yeah,
think.
that's true.
Yeah.